Hi, my name is Eric, and I'm tired of talking about learning to speak Spanish, so here's me actually trying. And it does feel really good to say that. um, like most people in Texas, I started out getting exposed to Spanish in the seventh grade. We took an elective in seventh and eighth grade, and it was just a normal Spanish class. Being from Texas, I kind of already have known the basics my whole life. Hola, gracias, de nada, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, vamos. I've known all those things my entire life. But that is really the extent of what my exposure has been in my early life to Spanish. And then when I was 18, I started waiting tables in a restaurant. And that's when I began to catch on to other phrases that, managers, other servers, the kitchen, that they were using. And that's when, I kind of expanded my vocabulary, started learning new things. And then I was in the restaurant industry, and I've just picked up, up through college, and up until about 6 years ago. And I've just picked up on different things. And now I currently work restaurant industry adjacent. I sell beer to restaurants, so I still do pick up on stuff from time to time. But really, I'm tired of just picking up on stuff. And I've been telling myself for the last year, really year, that, what, I need to buckle down. I need to get a plan, and I want to actually start learning Spanish and become fluent in the language. And not just in any certain time, but I plan to speak Spanish for the rest of my life. So, which I know is going to be hard work. Um, it shouldn't be easy. If it is easy, then I don't know if it's worth it. But so I also, other problems that I've had is just time. I'm a father of two. I play flag football on Mondays. During the fall, I play softball on Fridays. I coach both my kids' teams. I work 45 hours a week. So, I do have other stuff that I do during the week. I go to the gym. I work out at the gym 4 or 5 times a week. And that I usually only do about an hour of that. So, I do have a life that just doesn't revolve around a bunch of time that I have. Um, I am busy. So, with that being said, I needed to start somewhere. My level right now is I took a test on this website called Tell Me in Spanish from a lady named Daniela Sanchez. She has a YouTube channel as well. I just found it on the internet, but her test that I took was a multiple question test, and it put me between an A1 and an A2. Also, the test said that I did exceptionally well on complex phrases, but I'm pretty sure that I just was a good guesser. I'm pretty sure that's all that was. But I do know how to say stuff like, my accent is pretty decent. Like, vamos, ¿cómo estás? No tengo cambio. ¿Tienes cambio? ¿Qué tal? Um, ven, venga, ¿dónde estás? ¿Dónde vienes? Um, just, or just, acabo de comer, I just ate. Um, acabo de correr, I just ran. I have picked up on that's probably the extent to my my vocabulary and my fluency in Spanish. Another thing I ask a lot: ¿Tienes niños? ¿Cuántos? ¿Cuántos años tienes? How old are you? Just stuff like that. That's about all I can do just to carry on kind of a basic conversation, service level conversation with somebody that I meet in a restaurant. Um, so my plan, I ended up the Tell Me in Spanish website, I ended up actually buying her course. I bought her advanced course too because she put it at a discount price, and I said, why the hell not? But so that is going to, I'm going to have my bedrock, which is going to be her lesson. And it's a lesson. It's, I think, 6 units. It did cost money. I had the money, so I dropped on it. I've never done anything like that before. I've always been like, oh, I'm gonna try to learn for free. You know, plenty of people learn for free, and I'm sure they do. But me, I didn't have time to make myself a plan. I needed one for me, so I bought her course. And I've been doing her course. I think I'm on, the 4th or 5th lesson by now, which is, I've been doing it maybe a week at the time of making this video. So, so that is going to be my bedrock. So I will do a lesson from her. Some of them are 12 minutes, some of them are 35 minutes. I will do a lesson every single day. And it's a video, and it comes with exercises that she gives as well, and an audio file. So in addition to that, I will be making flashcards with the vocabulary and the sentences that I have learned from that lesson. I will be also making some other sentences that are kind of adjacent to that lesson, my own, and I will be putting them on flashcards as well. So I will be doing my lesson in the morning, and then I will be reviewing flashcards after. So that is my plan. And then on Sundays, I will make what is called, not what I call, a language island. So I will write a paragraph about something that maybe I need to talk about, most likely something in work, about selling beer or something, or some conversation that I imagine myself having. I will make a language island about that, and I will translate it. I'll go over here in a second just what a language island is. But I will be making one of those every single Sunday, translating, and I will be practicing that throughout the week as well. I do also have 2 things going for me. I ride around in my truck all day, and I do run into a lot of Spanish speakers. So I consider myself very lucky. So I have time to listen and repeat in my truck, and I also have time just to spark up conversations, very surface level conversations with people that I meet when I run my route. So, so what is a language island? A language island is like a paragraph. You write the paragraph of sentences that you're actually going to use, of a conversation that you can actually use, and you write them down, you translate it, and you practice those sentences, not individual words, but saying those sentences, and memorizing those sentences in Spanish. There's a guy, Mikel Hyper Polyglot, on YouTube. I can put his link in the description. Seems like a no-nonsense type of guy. And I've watched a few of his videos, and the language island thing, I've already been kind of doing that same type of thing with flashcards, and it's worked for me. But that's a strategy. That's an exercise that I'm going to use. So, and then obviously my bedrock is going to be the Tell Me in Spanish course. I will be doing a lesson on that every single morning. And then during the day, my language island on Sunday, I will do my language island, and then I will record it in my voice and saying it in Spanish, and then English. And I will listen to that throughout the day as well, throughout the week. But also there's a channel on YouTube called Spanish with Liliana, or Liliana Spanish. And she has some great videos of her just making sentence structures, like phrases, basically like chunks, and like into formulas. So a lot of stuff that we can use to make sentences that are high frequency sentences, basically. I will also be, from time to time, I'm thinking about putting it into ChatGPT and saying, hey, these are the give me 500 high frequency verbs or words or sentences in Spanish, and I plan on doing some flashcards of those as well. So flashcards, language islands, and Tell Me in Spanish, and listening to my audio and other audio throughout the day, and just trying to put it in practice throughout the day as well. So I consider myself lucky having those 2 options. But eventually I really want to earn some extra money as well. Maybe being like a translator. Maybe teaching Spanish to English people or teaching English to Spanish people would be the best, just because the best Spanish that I've learned have been from Spanish speakers who have learned English themselves. So we recently spent like 10 days in Puerto Vallarta in the summer, and that really lit a fire under my butt, and it's kind of kickstarted me. So very glad about that. Um, so that's pretty much it. My name is Eric, and this is me. And I'm not starting from anything, but I just want to document, and I'm going to document over a year. I'm going to post a video every Sunday just about what I did throughout the week, how it went, maybe some cool conversations that I had or that I didn't had, that I was too scared to have, that I thought I should have. But I'm going to document my progress, at least one video a week over the next year, and see how it goes. I know I will come out better on the other end, but doing this lesson, like I said, paying for a lesson, documenting every single week, I think is just a discipline thing for me, and more motivation to go out there and just become as fluent as I can in Spanish. So, venga, vamos. Let's learn together. Thanks.